Kelly Hughes with Ryan Day.
What a win. Does this just come down to making big plays and big moments? It seemed like every single time a play needed to be made, you guys made the play.
Well, our team didn't give up. There was a point there where it was going the other way, and we put our foot down and we said no. We said we're going to win this game in the fourth quarter. It came down to the last play. I can't tell you how tough these kids are, mentally, emotionally. A lot of people took some shots at them this week, and they answered that. That narrative ends tonight. What an unbelievable win for our team. I'm so happy for our kids. It's Ohio against the world. That's been going on for a long time, but here we are again.
Cal McCord, can you just talk about the composure on that game-winning drive?
Unbelievable. I mean, some big-time throws in that moment. 2-minute drive to win a game like this. That's a great sign for his future. Really clutch, and Emeka played really well, so did Marvin. I mean, there's a bunch of guys who played well in this game. I mean, if we can convert on short yardage in some of those games to different, you know what, when you're in a top 10 matchup like this, things like this are going to happen. You got to keep fighting, you got to keep swinging. That's what we did.
And finally, defense. A lot was said about Notre Dame's defense coming into this one, but you all held the nation's top touchdown leader out of the end zone for the first 3 quarters. Talk about the effort from you all's defense.
Yeah, I mean, our guys played tough. They knew it was a challenge coming in, and, to hold them to under 20 points, whatever it was great. And, it wasn't a very high-scoring game, but it was a physical game, and our guys played that way.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back to you in Chicago.
What a win, and Ohio State continues to be fabulous in situations just like this one. 12th win in their last 13 games on the road against ranked teams. I mean, that is crazy. No one does that, but Ohio State does that. How did they do it?
Well, you give the Buckeyes a little life, and they have a pesky way of finishing strong, and they did that tonight. Offense, defense, you can say great things about both. I want to start about the defense, though. Jim Knowles and this defense, they have been accused of not playing great in bigger games, Michigan and Georgia. They've been dominant against lesser opponents. Tonight, that was not the case. Sam Hartman, a dominant quarterback at the collegiate level, over 120 touchdown passes in his career. They came to play. They came to prove they were a championship defense on a huge stage in South Bend, especially after they get stopped on that 4th down. They come out and get a huge stop to get the ball back against Sam Hartman, get a couple sacks, get a TFL. That was huge to get the ball back.
I think Ryan Day talked about it a little bit. In that fourth quarter, it really looked like Notre Dame was about to close out that football game. They were really leaning into their running game, and Ohio State really didn't have an answer for it. But that final drive, JTT, he made some huge plays, a breakup where he almost intercepted a pass, and then they stopped him on 3rd down, and they got the punt. Kyle McCord, a 16-play, 65-yard drive to close out the game. That was huge for this football team. Like I said, we were questioning them whether they could win these type of football games this year, and this is a big win for their team.
Huge.
I love the point you made because we've talked so much about the defense against like talent. When you come up against teams who are as talented or close to as talented as you are, and you mentioned the 2 games at the end of last year where they fell woefully short. Defense just phenomenal when they needed them to be. And they proved, hey, you can win a low-scoring game. Right? They had scored more than 20 points, 77 straight games, longest streak in FBS history. It ends on this night.
Wow. And
they still figure out a way to win the game.
Well, and it was that point of attack plays, too. They had a lot of 3rd and shorts they stopped them on. A lot of 4th downs they stopped them on. I'm telling you, they needed to have point of attack. They needed to be strong up front, and they were that tonight. They proved they can do that against the best.
Huge win. Their 6th straight over the Irish. So big one for Ohio State, which will have repercussions certainly for the Big Ten in a very positive way. The 7th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions whiteout game against Iowa. Great prime time atmosphere in Happy Valley. Drew Aller squaring off with Cade McNamara. Pick it up in the first quarter. It is McNamara flipping it to Eric All. 12 yards, that's good for Iowa. Fumble, not as good for Iowa. Curtis Jacobs recovers. Penn State would go up 3-0 on a field goal. Second quarter, Penn State punting, and this is just a nightmare scenario for the Hawkeyes. It goes off the back of one of their special teams players, and Penn State able to recover. Really good field position, and that sets up on the next drive. They go for it on a 4th and 1. Drew Aller to Khalil Dinkins, 9-yard touchdown. It's 10-0. Penn State 3 of 3 on 4th down conversions in the first half. Really fired up. Late second quarter, it was a nightmare of a day for Cade McNamara. He gets sacked there. He had absolutely nowhere to go in this game, fellas.
Nowhere. And Aller looked great.
Aller hitting Keandre Lambert-Smith. Penn State down to the Iowa 3-yard line, and 2 plays later, it is Aller to a wide-open Tyler Warren. That is beautiful.
The tight end throwback on the goal line. Between that and the rub route, you know what's coming.
This would be a bit of a theme.
Yes, it was.
Through the night.
Effective play.
Yes, it's a through line in Big Ten football. Nittany Lions up 17-0. It is Aller again to Warren. How about 4 touchdown passes in this game for Drew Aller? And Iowa just had nothing on offense. 76 yards, 4 first downs. Adisa Isaac recovering the fumble there, set the Nittany Lions up, and it's Aller to Keandre Lambert-Smith. Penn State wins it 31-0. A whitewash of the Hawkeyes. First time they've been shut out since 2000. Celebratory night in Happy Valley. Hannah Mears with the Nittany Lions.
Coach Franklin, let's just start talking about this defense. The statistics jump off the page, and they shut out Iowa tonight. What impresses you most about this unit?
Yeah, Manny Diaz and our defensive staff, led by our seniors and our veteran players on defense, we were able to get them all scheduled on first down. That's not really how they want to play, and that was kind of our goal going into it. And then the turnovers again on defense, and then us protecting the ball on offense.
Speaking of protecting the ball on offense, another performance not turning the ball over, 30-plus points again this season. Why is this group so consistent?
Well, we preach the things that matter the most in football, which is turnovers and explosive plays. We got to be a little bit more explosive on offense, but defensively, we're not giving up the big plays. We're forcing turnovers. We're getting them all scheduled on first down, and then we're playing solid special teams. So when you do those 3 things, you're going to be tough to beat.
Curtis Jacobs, did you know that you're the first Penn State player since 1991 to have 2 fumble recoveries in a game? What does your name mentioned with that historical stat mean to you?
It's awesome. I didn't know that, but that's definitely an awesome stat. I was just trying to come out, make plays for my teammates, and just get the win today. So it's a great thing to have, but I'm more excited we got the win.
Relentless pursuit to the football seems to be what your defense is all about. Your defense this season, double-digit forced turnovers. Why is this group consistently so dominant?
That's what we work every day. We want to be the most dominant defense in the country, and we work to be the most dominant defense in the country. So it's only right that we come out here and show it every Saturday.
This was absolute domination, fellas. There are a ton of telling stats from this game to give you a little bit of perspective on how one-sided it was. How about this one? Penn State ran 97 plays. Iowa ran 33. It's just staggering how Penn State was able to do largely whatever they wanted, and Iowa just couldn't do anything.
You know, me and James sat on this same set on Wednesday, and we talked about, hey, we think this game's going to come down to the fourth quarter. It's going to be 10-6, an old-fashioned Iowa football game. There's going to be a turnover that makes the difference. All that stuff happened in the first quarter. It was just dominant by that Penn State defense, whether it was 5, 4, 3. It didn't matter. They harassed Cade McNamara all night. And you know, when the team has 33 plays like Iowa and Penn State has 31 points, that's not good ratios, right? I mean, just totally dominant on every side of the ball. But defensively, was so impressed by Nittany Lions.
I don't think Manny Diaz and his Penn State defense gets enough credit. I think coming to the year, I was high on this defense, and they've been getting better and better each and every week. I know they played an Iowa offense who isn't, that great this year, but you pitch a shutout against any team in the Big Ten, that's really impressive. And they have 4 turnovers. They're good at every single level.
I want to come back at you with that question. How much of this was about Penn State's defense and how much of it was about Iowa's offense? Because you know what the narrative is going to be in Iowa City, and it's not going to be about how great that Nittany Lion defense is.
To me, it was more about this Penn State defense. They were attacking that offensive line, creating turnovers, made it really tough on Cade McNamara. There wasn't anybody open. The best play was him scrambling for like a 15-yard run. So it was very tough. I think next week will be a little bit better for this Iowa offense, hopefully.
Well, Luke Lachey not playing. That was big. Best offensive weapon. 2 tailbacks banged up. They weren't at full strength, but offensive line-wise, you got to protect better than what they did tonight.
That's been very surprising to me this year because it was such a point of emphasis. It was something they spoke very positively about in camp, but they do not appear to have improved to this point on the offensive line. It was a long night, a historically bad night, frankly, for Iowa, as we see in our auto owners insurance game leaders. Since 1950, this is the fewest yards that Penn State has given up against a Big Ten team. They gave up 58 against Marquette in 1958. 2 years later, Marquette dropped major college football.
Does Marquette play football anymore? I didn't think so.
Not sure it was cause and effect there, but it certainly wasn't going well for them at the time. And then Temple, obviously, a non-conference game in 2006. So back to the drawing board for sure for the Hawkeyes. Number 2, Michigan hosting Rutgers. Jim Harbaugh back from his school-imposed 3-game suspension. Picking it up early in the first quarter. He could not have liked what he saw here. Gavin Wimsatt to Christian Dremel. 69 yards for the touchdown. That is the longest pass play of Wimsatt's career. And Rutgers, a minute into the game, on top 7-0 on the Wolverines. Late first quarter, you know what we need here? We need a double reverse flea flicker.
Another theme of the day.
It was J.J. McCarthy to Colston Loveland. Blake Corum would punch it in from there, and we are tied up at 7. Late second quarter, Samaj Morgan, this is not a highly recruited player, at least by Michigan standards, but man, he is starting to emerge. There's been a little bit of buzz on him early in the year. Catches the pass there from J.J. McCarthy. Michigan on top 14-7 at the half. To the third quarter, this is the biggest play of the game. On a 4th and 2 in a 17-7 game, Mike Sainristil still picks it off and takes it the other way, James.
That's a heck of a play right there. He beats the receiver to the football, and great running after the catch, man. That was an impressive run.
Former offensive guy.
That is true.
Look at this, though. Look how he stays up here because he hits his own guy. His own guy almost keeps him up, right? And he squats him off the shoulder and gets up the field for the score.
Great balance.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
Incredible balance there. And pick six, second straight year they've had a pick six, in fact, against Rutgers. And this really was the turning point of the game, as from there it was all Michigan. Early fourth quarter, Wolverines on the move. McCarthy to Loveland. McCarthy threw 3 interceptions last week, didn't throw any in this game, threw for 214 yards and a touchdown. Corum running it in here for his second TD of the game, 39 of his career. That's the most of any active player. 31-7 the final. Brooke Fletcher with the victors.
Coach, we'll get to Mikey in a second here, but this defense, they were 3 for 3 on 4th down stops here today. You were without Mason Graham up front, but what do you make of just the way this defense stepped up as a whole?
Well, they stepped up big time and made the plays, the 4th downs you referred to, some big 3rd down stops as well. Got the ball back for the offense, made the huge play. Mike Sainristil, difference maker right here. When you need somebody to make the magic happen, this guy right here does it. Great job. Great job.
Mikey coming up big with that pick six there. Walk me through that play.
I just, we were in man coverage. The parts of that, the guy I was covering showed me like he was going to pick Will Johnson. As soon as I saw it developing, I just turned my eyes to the quarterback. I knew number 1 was coming back in. I saw the ball thrown, and I knew it was go time.
JJ, I see you nodding your head here. How fun was that to watch him find the end zone?
I mean, that's the most beautiful thing an offense can see. I mean, guy was on offense, on defense, still scoring points. I mean, I loved it. It was amazing. I didn't expect anything less out of 0, that's for sure.
And real quick, just having Coach Harbaugh back this week, how much did that spark this team going into this game?
I mean, we're a full team now. We're full strength, and it just motivated us so much more to get this win for him. And now we're on to the next one.
The next one is at Nebraska, but let's talk about this one. They're on to the next one. We're not quite onto it yet. Impressed by the balance here of Michigan. Over 200 yards rushing and passing. We've started to wonder early this year about what exactly is the identity of this offense. What did we learn on Saturday?
Rutgers really made it tough on them today. I thought JJ did a great job of protecting the football. Obviously, he had 3 interceptions last week, none this week. I mean, they didn't throw the ball all over the field, but Rutgers, that's a good defense. I got to give them a lot of credit, but they really lean into the running game to close out this football game, and that's what we've come to know about this Michigan offense. They can beat you throwing the football, they can beat you running the football, and that offensive line really controls the line of scrimmage.
The decision-making by J.J. McCarthy was back. Last week, there were some questions, not great decisions, throwing balls in the coverage, not throwing stuff far enough away. Didn't do that 15 for 21 accurate. We needed to run the football to help out, to get some of those short yard situations. He was able to do that. Also, can't say enough about this defense, right? They give that one first play, and then all of a sudden they lock it down. There's nothing after that first play. Don't give up anything.
They have held their first 4 opponents now to 7 points or fewer. It's the first time they've done that since 1971. do want to talk a little bit about Rutgers, guys, because Rutgers played very well in the first really 3 quarters. I mean, the game turned on one play. If that pass isn't picked off, if they get a first down, again, I'm not suggesting they would win the game, but it certainly would have looked very different in terms of a final score.
I believe it was 17-7, right? They're going in, they score, it's 17-14. Right. Anything could happen. What I love about Rutgers is they always play aggressive. They always play physical. You know they're going to compete every time they show up because Greg Schiano has coached them that way.
That defense is going to give them a chance every single week. If the team forces them to pass the ball, there's going to be a little bit of a struggle. But if Gavin Wimsatt can find a way to get some shots down the field, get the ball to his receivers, I think that offense can score a lot more points.
Well, they have Wagner next week. It feels like a game where you can kind of figure out some of the things maybe that haven't necessarily been working offensively, but I'm with you. You can lean on that defense. There are a lot of games that are very winnable on this schedule for Rutgers. Already, this is their first loss of the year.
Yeah.
They're 3-1. They have to feel really good. You shake this one off against the number 2 team in the country, and you bounce back and see if you can get a win a week from now. Maryland trying to get to 4-0, visiting Michigan State. Noah Kim and company had a long day against Washington and didn't start off so well against the Terps either. Bo Braid, the interception, nice return there. This was on the opening drive of the game, set Maryland up with some good field position, and Leah Tagovailoa hitting Sean Greeley for the touchdown. Terps, they've been a slow starting team. Remember, they were down 14-0 each of their last 2 games, but wasn't the case here. Now on a 4th and goal, Michigan State's next possession, Nate Carter is stuffed at the goal line, and it remains 7-0. Ensuing drive for the Terps, Tagovailoa to Tyrese Chambers, FIU transfer, 11 plays, 95 yards. It's 14-0 in favor of Maryland. 21-3, Terps looking to the nail in the coffin here, but Angelo Gross, how about that interception?
Unbelievable athleticism, got his foot down and dragged that toe.
And Michigan State drives down, and Noah Kim hits Tyrell Henry for the touchdown win for 2, didn't get it, so it's 21-9. Now in the 4th quarter, Kim gets taken down awkwardly there. He was under pressure. He hobbles off, would not return to the game. So Caton Hauser coming in. It's a 24-9 game. They still have a chance here, but Tarheeb still with the interception, one of 5 turnovers forced by the Terps. They go on to win it by the final of 31-9. Audrey Dahlgren got the reaction.
Coach, a big emphasis for you was coming on the road, getting this first road win of the season. Michigan State didn't make it easy in the second half, but what were you impressed with today?
Well, I was impressed that we were able to start fast, something we haven't done the last couple of games. I'd like to see us finish stronger and finish a little better. We got to get off the field on 3rd down, but, to get a road win in the Big Ten, to open up conference play, this is tough to do. It's tough to win on the road, especially in this league. Our players made enough plays to get out of here with a W.
Well, let's start with this. First win for Maryland since 1950 in East Lansing. What do you think about being a part of history like that?
I didn't even know that. But as always, first and foremost, all the glory goes to the man above. None of this would be possible without my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And, we came out here, and the biggest thing for this team was just to do our job. And I think for us, we just got to continue to work on doing it consistently. And, playing on the road is always tough, and I'm just happy we got the victory.
Got the victory, got it fairly convincingly. 4-0 with all 4 wins coming by at least 18 points. That had never happened in Maryland history before this year. What did you take from this win?
Well, we know they've got explosive offensive weapons, one of the best passing offenses in all the Big Ten, one of the best in the country, but they're doing the little things. They're cleaning up some of the penalties. They're playing better defense, and that's what's going to be the difference for them to really take the next step in a potent Big Ten East. They're doing those things. They've really grown as a program. Like Mike Loxley said, we're ready to compete for championships. It's looked like that through the first 4 weeks.
They're off to a hot start. They got off to a hot start today, 21-0, but they didn't quite close the game out the way I would have loved to see them do. I know Talia in that offense, he had an interception in the 3rd quarter. They just got to clean that up and play a full 4-quarter football game.
This is a game they had to have, though. I mean, if they are going to move up in the East standings, a game you've got to win against a struggling Michigan State team. Although, give them some credit. They hung around in this one.
Well, they could have just gone into their shell and said, okay, we're not going to play. We're not going to compete like they did. You know, it was tough against Washington, but they battled back in that same, made it a game.
Yeah, they moved the football on Maryland all game long. Didn't score as many touchdowns as they needed to, but you got to give them a lot of credit for the way they fought.
3 of the next 4 on the road for them, and the only home game is against Michigan. So the schedule does not get any easier.
Tougher
for Michigan State. That's going to be Minnesota and Northwestern pick it up in the first quarter after a Northwestern turnover. Ethan Kaliak-Manis to Lemeki Brockington. 9-yard score puts the Gophers on top 7-0 to the second quarter. How about this catch by the Western Michigan transfer Corey Crooms? Wow.
Full extension.
27 yards. That is
impressive.
Yeah, that is really something. That led to a Darius Taylor touchdown, and then it's Kaliak-Manis to Daniel Jackson, 21-0 in favor of the Gophers. Game over, right? Wrong. Back come the Cats. Ben Bryant looking for Bryce Kurtz, who is wide open. And Bryce Kurtz going 80 yards to give Northwestern a little life. He had 10 catches for 215 yards. That's the fourth most in Northwestern history. That's Darius Taylor. This is a 4th and 1, and this appeared to be the backbreaker. He had 198 rushing yards, third straight 100-yard game. So now Gophers up 31-10. PJ is pumped. His team in good shape, but not quite good enough. Cats clawing their way back. It's 31-17. It's Bryant to Kurtz. That makes it 31-24. And now with 5 seconds to play, it's Bryant to A.J. Henning for the touchdown. At Northwestern kicks the extra point, sends it into overtime, and in the OT, it is Bryant. How about this play design, Jay Lehman?
Yeah, Mike Bajakian drawing up the tight end throwback in the red zone. First play of overtime ball game.
Charlie Mangieri. The Cats come back from 21 down. They win at 37-34. Elise Menaker with the winners.
You challenge this team coming into the week. Play with urgency. Believe that they can win. What did you see in that second half?
I saw a group of young men that committed to playing for 4 quarters or however long it took. Regardless of the score on the scoreboard, they just continued to show up, play with edge, physicality. They believed in one another. This is the ultimate team win.
Ben Bryant, we can see him on the sideline. He's pushing through an injury. What did you see from your quarterback?
I saw one tough son of a gun and a young man that just stayed true to himself, continued to be resilient, believed in his teammates, a group of young men that continued to believe in him. And this is Wildcat football. I mean, 4-quarter football, a little bit of the cardiac Cats back in 2023.
What are you battling through in this game, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of it? Because we can see on the sideline you're pushing through on some of those big hits.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like we went down in the beginning. We were down. We had to fight our way back, and we rallied at halftime. I had a little ankle thing. Someone stepped on me a couple times, and I got back up because I love this team, and I want to lead this team to victory.
That is what he did, just their third win in their last 20 conference games. This would fall in the category of improbable, given where we were in the game with Northwestern down 21 on a couple of occasions. What did you learn about them on this night?
That Ben Bryant can sling the rock. I mean, it was all over the place. 396 yards. Bryce Kurtz for a 215. Mike Bajakian dialing up all kinds of throwbacks, RPOs, bombs. This looked like a totally different Northwestern team. It wasn't just the win. It was the way they won. The confidence building that's going to do for this team going forth in the conference. First division win. Huge win.
Ben Bryant had a heck of a day. Like I said, I thought in the first half, I thought they had plenty of opportunities to throw the ball down the football field. They didn't hit them in the first half. In the second half, they took full advantage against typically a really good defense by Minnesota and that Joe Rossi defense. They got to tighten that up on their side of the football back-to-back weeks where they've given up a ton of yards. So they have to clean that up.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks, more than 400 passing. I was going to say technically it was exactly 400. It was more than 400 last week. But, yeah, I mean, you think about Minnesota, you think defense, and we just haven't seen it here these last couple games. And hats off to Northwestern. I mean, it would have been easy to fold the tent in this game.
A couple times.
It would have been easy to fold the tent in July, frankly.
Sure.
David Braun has done a very good job keeping this group in it mentally and it pays off with a nice win for them. They are 2-2 on the year. So overtime there in Evanston. We had overtime in Bloomington as well. Akron and the Hoosiers pick it up in the third quarter. Zips up 10-7. Not for long. Lewis Moore picks it off, brings it back, weaving his way through, and Indiana back on top 14-10. To the fourth quarter, it's 17-10. Lorenzo Lingard.
Oh, no.
That high step, a little action here.
Oh, yeah, he's hiding in.
Outrunning the Hoosiers.
71 yards for the touchdown, and the Zips tie it up, and yet you get the tire.
Tired it up or
you
tied
come
it
from
up?
rubber country, you get the tire. Had a chance to win it, but Dante Jackson misses what would have been a game-winning field goal from 32 yards out, and we are headed to overtime. To the fourth overtime we go. Taven Jackson to Keese Carter. The Fordham transfer went over 3,000 receiving yards there, so now Akron needs to equalize. Irons looking for the end zone. It is broken up, and Indiana hangs on 29-27. Here's Danny Rogers with the Hoosiers.
Coach, all game long, your defense gave this team a chance to win. How did they pull off that thriller in 4 overtimes?
Well, the gut check for sure. Pretty ugly, but it still counts as a win for sure as a team, even though we didn't play very well on offense. And the defense bowed up, though, when they had to. I'm really proud of them.
Your word of the week was resilient. Yeah. How did you outlast these Zips with your resiliency?
Well, it's just about staying the course, and just keep executing no matter the good and the bad, whatever happened. And I'm just proud of our guys for doing that. So, obviously, a lot of respect for Akron, and Coach Moorhead doing a phenomenal job. Those kids played their tails off.
Taven, you told me this week internally you're calm, but on the outside you show a lot of excitement. How did you stay poised in those overtime thrillers?
Yeah, just having trust in your teammates, having trust in the O-line, and Cam Camber to go make a play. That was big for us. He did an unbelievable job. I think our O-line did an unbelievable job protecting the guys that have the ball in those last seconds.
Indiana's certainly not going to look askance at a win in any way, fellas. We know how hard it is to win football games, but man, they made it even harder on themselves, and they were really fortunate, James.
Yeah, they were very fortunate. DJ Irons made it extremely tough on this defense today. A defense that has been playing very well all season long. They got to clean that up, and have to clean up their red zone offense as well. 3
turnovers were key. They got to score on one of those turnovers. Taven Jackson took a step last week, thought he took a step back this week. Yeah. Still a young quarterback. He's got to improve for them to have a chance in games.
It does end a streak we've been talking about for years. This is the first time there have been 16 straight years where the MAC had played the Big Ten, where the MAC had won at least one game. That streak ended this year. Akron had the last chance to pull it off. So the MAC and the Big Ten, it is all Big Ten this year. A lot of excitement over Ohio State's win in South Bend, including LeBron James, walk-off, and then, come on, LeBron, it's a family program. And Ohio State, they were so excited, that's what they came up with. Can you blame them?
Just a little excited, yeah.
Very excited, yeah.
Gibberish.
Lost control of the keyboard. Telly Hughes in total control. He spoke afterward with Kyle McCord.
What a win. Talk about your composure. It seemed like you were cool, calm, and collected during that entire game-winning drive.
Yeah, we do those 2-minute drives in practice all the time, and our defense did a great job of getting that stop and getting us the ball with some time left. And, at that point, it's just practice. We've done it a million times, and just trusting the guys, getting their ball in their hands, and, allowing them to go to work.
And what does that say about you all's offense doing that against one of the top defenses in the country?
Yeah, we weren't perfect tonight at all. Our defense bailed us out a bunch, but at the end of the day, we stepped up to the plate when it mattered and, made a big-time drive right there. And, a win is a win, a lot to grow and a lot to improve upon. But, I'm so excited for this team, man. It's a huge win against a really good team in a historic environment. You can't draw it up any better than that.
Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Narrow win in South Bend. Nothing narrow about what happened in Happy Valley. It was a blowout, and what a great scene it was. The whiteout, Big Ten Network taking inside the student section there in Happy Valley. Lots of happy faces, including Tyler Warren. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. Post-game reaction with Hannah Mears.
Tyler Warren, this Penn State crowd behind you, you own this game. Scoring a touchdown in every whiteout you've played in so far. Why do you love this so much?
This is probably the best environment in college football. To be able to play in front of this is really special.
and our teammates, me and my teammates don't take it lightly, so just being able to play in a crowd like this is really special. We make the best of it.
Another 30-plus point performance here tonight in Beaver Stadium. Where can this offense still go this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be on us. We just got to keep getting better and trusting Drew. He's playing a lot of great football, and trusting Coach Yurcich and running his plays, and we'll be good.
Coach Franklin said the tight ends just had to be patient. Their time would come. How have you guys been really channeling that this season?
Yeah, I think as a room we do really good, just doing what they ask of us each week. And to see Khalil Dinkins get a touchdown today in the tight room, he's a young guy. He's worked a lot. I was probably most excited for that touchdown today. So it's been really good, and we're excited to keep building on it.
Hey, thanks so much. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Elsewhere, non-conference action for Nebraska taking on Louisiana Tech. Pick it up in the second quarter. Nebraska lining up for a field goal, or are they? Timmy Bleekrode.
I'm going to do the arm tackles.
It's a holder.
It's a holder.
Come on. I mean, it's not James White. He's holding on a field goal. Man, you are a tough grade. Billy Kemp on the end around, 9 yards out. Nebraska goes up 7-0. Anthony Grant, he's running through tackles.
He is.
Does that suffice for you, James?
That was very surprising.
He had 135 rushing yards. They're banged up at running backs. They needed him. And then how about Heinrich Harburg here, Jay?
The old school Nebraska option, 1990s all over again, 72 yards to the house.
Ran for 157, threw for 107 as the Huskers win at 28-14. Megan McEwen with Matt Rule.
Coach, tie ball game at the half. Your team came out, had put up a great third quarter, headed into the fourth. What was the difference in the first and second?
Yeah, I think we got the got the run game going. Obviously we've had 2 long touchdowns called back in that game. Which might have changed the complexion of it. But I thought that drive to start the second half, really establishing the power and the downhill run game, coming back with an option for a big play. The run game kind of got us going. It wasn't a perfect day by any means, but I thought Heinrich made enough plays with his legs to really kind of get us going when we needed it.
There's not a lot of subtlety to what Nebraska's doing here. They ran the ball 48 times. They threw it 18, James. This is what they're going to have to be.
Yeah, that's what they're committing to. Heinrich Harbig's really carrying the load on the offensive side of things. I love that Anthony Grant got into the action today with over 100 yards rushing as well.
If you can run the ball and you can stop the run in almost any level of football, you can win some games. Now, they got to develop their offense a little bit more, but I think they're laying out foundation under Matt Rule, and it's a start. And taking care of the football, no turnovers.
They certainly can't stop the run. 4 games now, no one has rushed for 60 yards on Nebraska. It's the first time they've had 4 straight games holding their opponent under 60 this century. So it speaks to what you're talking about. This defense is really good. It's going to keep them in a lot of games. Florida Atlantic visiting Illinois. We pick it up in the second quarter. How about a little trick play here from the Fighting Illini? They were down 10-0. Need a little shot in the arm. They get it here. Luke Altmaier to Griffin Moore, Jay.
We said the reverse flea flicker was a theme. There it was, Michigan, and then your quarterback struggling from the last game, get a touchdown with that play.
Illinois within 10-7, and then Altmaier, we have seen him use the wheels this year. Takes it in, 7-yard touchdown. Illini 14-10 at the break. Third quarter, still 14-10. How about this catch by Isaiah Williams?
Climbs the ladder here. Ooh. Not a tall guy, got face mask, and still made the play.
Teach tape.
Altmaier throwing for 303 yards, a career high for him. They get a late touchdown here as well, and they win it by the final of 23-17. Brett Bielema with Justine Ward.
Coach, you couldn't take your foot off the gas, but what did you like about that second half?
Well, I like the way they responded. We're a little bit of a triage at a couple positions. We had guys going down left and right. Had a lot of true freshmen come in and play, but you kind of want that going into Big Ten play now. I like our attitude, our demeanor. Quarterback showed up when you needed him to, and then obviously the winning drive there was good.
What do you make of Luke Altmaier's day today?
I like it. He created some things with his feet, made good decisions. I think, obviously the biggest thing we got to do is grow. We got 4 Big Ten games coming up in a row. Obviously, a game on the road next week against Purdue to start it up. We're excited.
Nice win for Brett Bielema's team just to get back in that win column. They lost 2 in a row. Takeaways from watching the Illini.
Good to see Luke Altmaier back and throw for 300 yards after a tough game last week. I also liked how they finished this football game. In the second half, it looked like a Brett Bielema football team. Run the football, and they finished the game with a 4-minute drive. Josh McCray looked like his old self run the football.
That's what I love, the running game, to close out the football game. They've struggled to run the football all year long. It's great to finish it out in 4-minute offense.
Yeah, when your quarterback throws a career-high passing yards and you rush for more than 200, you have to feel good about the offensive effort.